Reports are different from queries in that the parameters and their values cannot be specified when you run the report. The parameters upon which the report is based are specified when you define the report and are always the same when you run it. Therefore, the report will be the same each time it is run, except the data in the report will change to reflect how they have changed in the database. To run a report, click on the report name beside the blue or brown icon and it will run, and the results will be shown in the spreadsheet. The Add Query or Report function is available to an editor and administrator for the desktop environment only. To create a report, right-click on the dataset name and select Add Query or Report from the menu. First, select Report by clicking on the radio button at the top of the form. Define the report content by selecting the required parameters. Each parameter is based on a single column in the dataset. You can reuse the same column more than once when defining the report. To include a column, click on the checkbox beside the column name in the Use column on the form you wish to add as a parameter. If you are defining the report with more than one field, such as a value for a particular year, use the and/or column to define the relationship of those fields, whether their conditions both need to be met and or whether they are independent. Of note, the same parameter can be selected more than once, each time with a different value. So, for instance, if you want your report for 2 different cities, create the parameter with the city column for one of those cities. Then add a parameter using the same column by right-clicking on the column name and select Duplicate Column and select the second city name value. Then select OR and the report definition would look something like this. I will now add a third parameter and choose the operator, entry type and value. You can also define the order in which the columns appear in the report by using the drag and drop handle to the left of each row to change the display order for the report results. You can specify which dataset columns you want displayed in the resulting report. By default, none of the columns are going to be in the report. Add the columns you want by selecting the checkbox if you want the column to be displayed in your results. This can be reviewed before adding the report, and you can also select the Show All text box. You also have the option, by right-clicking on a column that will be displayed, of choosing a column that the results will be sorted by, and whether the results should be in ascending or descending order. Finally, give the report a meaningful name. When you are done, the report will appear in the menu with a brown report icon. Your reports are only seen by you and the system administrator. Here's an example of creating a report using the Federal Assets Staging database connection and the Federal Buildings dataset. We're going to create a report of the buildings that are special purpose with more than 1 million square feet. With the dataset selected, right-click on the name and left-click to select Add Query or Report from the menu. Select Report by clicking on the radio button at the top of the form. Create 2 parameters. One parameter will use the Use field because it contains the values Office and Special Purpose. The second parameter will use the Area RSF field because it contains the values associated with the amount of space for the building. Choose the Area RSF field, click the Value toggle button and type in 1 million, since you want only buildings with more than 1 million square foot in our report. Use AND, since you want both conditions satisfied. Choose which field you want in your report, perhaps just the building ID and the 2 parameter fields. Finally, give a meaningful name like Area of Special Purpose Buildings and click Add to commit the report to the menu and run it automatically for the first time. The Edit Report function is available to an editor and administrator for the desktop environment only. To edit a report, select an existing report that you wish to edit, right-click on the existing report name and select Edit Report from the menu. You can see the existing criteria by pressing the View criteria at the bottom of the form. Make your changes, update, and run the report again. The Delete Report function is available to an editor and administrator for the desktop environment only. To delete a report, select an existing report that you wish to remove, right-click on its name and select Delete Report.